What can I say about her apart from she is the one and only Miss Tina Legs Tantrum?
Hi. Hi.
Tina, welcome to the back alleys of Belfast. I'm sure you've been down many before.
Darling, wouldn't be the first time, let me tell you. I'm no stranger to a dark alley or a cold night.
So, Tina, it's culture night here in Belfast. I would imagine you're a pretty cultured young lady.
Well, yes, obviously I am, but I don't want to give away too much, do you know what I mean? I still haven't paid my fines. I'm not well cultured, you know. But thank you very much for having me before I go on. Speaking of, do you know where? Anyway, do you know where I was on Monday morning at 7 o'clock?
Where were you on Monday morning?
In
at 7?
Dublin.
Were you?
Yes. Guess who I was with?
Who were you with?
Davina McCall.
Davina, really?
From Big Brother. I know. She wanted to meet me. I thought there's something wrong with her head, but she did. She wanted to meet me.
So are you and Davina going to be working together in some capacity, or you just happen to wake up in bed beside her?
No, I'm trying to wean her back off the crack cocaine and heroin, so I am, because apparently she didn't take it too well when her contract went after Big Brother, so she fell off the wagon, so I had to go down and counsel her. Do you know what I mean? So, because I have known as a social worker and a little light Samaritan around the Falls Road area. Do you know what I mean? No, I had an interview with her. My dancers from our show in Cafe Vaudeville made it through to the next round of her program that she hosts on Sky 1 HD. You Got to Dance.
Yeah.
So before we go on stage, we always say a prayer, no matter where we are. And I promised them faithfully, if they got through, that I would go down. So I did, and they didn't get through.
Oh.
I know.
But there is so much great dance talent coming from Northern Ireland these days, isn't there? We saw it on the Don't Stop Believing show as well.
Yes, absolutely brilliant. Lots of bars and clubs are what I've found as an entertaining drag queen and also a professional dancer, that they're more interested going back to the way it used to be. They want live acts, they want bands, they want dancers, they want not necessarily drag queens, or they just want really good performers that people can see and appreciate, that are there in the flesh, so to speak, you know.
And the old kind of old-fashioned cabaret, vaudeville stuff, it's really coming back now, isn't it?
Yes, it really is. It's coming back tenfold, because round in Cafe Vaudeville, I mean, we started a show there. Tonight is show 24.
Wow.
And we've been there every single Friday, and it's across the board from Chicago, jazz to hip-hop, street dance, ballet, contemporary, right across the board. I mean, no two shows are ever the same, so I think that's one of the secret essences that we have as a dance show in Cafe Vaudeville. And it's only about an hour long, but it seems to just put everybody in the right frame of mind, in a good mood, you know. So I think with being in the middle of a recession, people are still wanting to go out, but I think that they're choosing their pennies very, very carefully, and where they want to go and what they want to see and hear.
And of course, if you're going to spend a few quid, you don't want to spend it in some DJ in a club somewhere. You want to come and be entertained for the night, don't you?
Yeah, even though if it is cheap entertainment, do you know what I mean? You can't please everybody, like, do you know what I mean?
Tina, how did the whole thing start for you, the whole drag queen game? How does one get into it and become the country's like #1 drag queen?
Well, it basically started with just carrying on at parties and having a laugh, and I had my own dance school from my late teens to my late 20s, and then I just sort of had broke away from that, but then it came back when I started doing drag, as I say, at parties. I then got a bit of a karaoke slot, and as a joke, as a sort of a one-nighter. So I entered a big competition in Dublin called the Alternative Miss Ireland, which is a fundraiser for people living in the south of Ireland with HIV and AIDS, so we try and raise as much money. And that night I came first, changed my life.
Yeah.
It's then gone on I've turned it into a full-time career. I work 6 nights a week. I don't work during the day. Happily, successfully self-employed. But I keep my feet firmly on the ground. I never drink when I work. I don't smoke. I run 25 miles a week.
Wow.
Every day I'm in the gym. I run at least 5 to 6 miles every single day. I don't party, and because I love my work.
Yeah.
But I think drag changes all the time.
Yeah.
And you have to be prepared to change with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. So, particularly in this day and age, so going right across the board, DJing, compering, hosting, ad-lib, backing dancers, if you want to be good, if you want to be successful, you have to work hard. It's like any other job, but I am quite fortunate because I really do love my job so much.
Was it difficult back at the start? I hate saying this, but we all know that Northern Ireland is maybe a little bit behind the rest of the world. Was there some kind of prejudices and stuff when you first started out?
No, because I'll tell you the reason why there was no prejudice. I wouldn't accept prejudice. if I want to wear women's clothes, I wouldn't care if I was in the street, if I was in the house, or if I was in the club.
Yeah.
I wouldn't accept it, do you know what I mean? And if someone wants to go up against me for doing that, I'll take them on. I wouldn't care less.
Wow.
That's why my name's Tantrum, do you know what I mean? And it's the same. I wouldn't care what colour or what creed or anybody else has. I mean, I would treat anybody the way they want to treat me. But if you want to put your hands on me, I'll put my hands back on
I
you.
saw you in action one night in a club when a little incident did kick off.
Yeah.
And the guy who did it was just left in total shame because it was such a put down. He deserved what he got, but it was such a put down to put him out of the club.
Was that verbally?
Yeah.
Oh, right,
just
okay.
verbally. I saw it. Just, you know, it was just
Sometimes I have to sit in my hands. Do you know what I mean? Yes, I mean, I think obviously, I acquired the gift of the gob from my father, so I did, and I am quite confident anyway. But verbally, yeah, I would, hands down. And it's very seldom I'm ever stuck for words, Robin, as well, you know, love. Do you know what I mean?
How did your family take to Tina Leg's Tantrum when she suddenly appeared one day?
It's brilliant. They loved it.
Yeah?
They loved it. Do you see the day that I decided to tell my mummy? We were sitting, I'll never forget, we were in my mummy's house and they had the scullery and they still had a toilet out the back and my daddy was on his way out to the bookies and I just turned and I'll never forget it. And Mummy was making a big pot of stew and I looked up and I says, Mummy, I want to be a drag queen. But as my daddy was just coming and he just heard the drag queen. And my mummy's from Dublin. And she goes, oh, be Jesus, I don't believe it. Really? Do you want to be a drag queen? Seriously? And I was, oh yeah, Mummy, I do. And my father near took my breath away because he just looked down at me. He's very, very stern, very old-fashioned, you know what I mean? And he just looked at me and he said to me, listen, will I tell you something? See, if you're going to be a drag queen, don't be a drag queen, be the drag queen. I said, oh my God, I love it. Oh my God, Daddy! You know, but don't you ever come down them stairs in your ma's underwear, I'll kill you. Okay, then I won't.
Brilliant.
You know,
What a great story.
And from that, you know, the confidence came basically as a drag queen from the first initial support of my parents when I realized I wanted to be, this is what I want to do and I want to make it a career. And if you want to be a drag queen and if you really are serious about it, you know, you got to make work for yourself. You have to go out and find it. Not only when you find it, you have to work at it.
Yeah.
You have to constantly, you know, places don't actually advertise for drag queens.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to really, really put your heart and soul and a little bit more into it in order to get what you want.
Great stuff. Now, last year on The Big Show, at Halloween time, we made a little movie.
So it did.
And it's still, to this day, getting thousands and thousands of hits on YouTube. And everywhere I go, people keep saying, when are you and Tina going to do the next one?
Oh.
So, the big question for the next series on The Big Show for Halloween this year, are we going to do another one?
I would love to, yes. Just
Yeah?
name a time and a place and I'll be there.
All right.
I definitely would love to. Last year we did Psycho, didn't we?
Psycho, with a
The
slightly different twist to it, yes.
A different twist, yeah.
Check it out on YouTube. It's different, yeah.
It's very, very different, yes. But it still would scare the heebie-jeebies clean out of you, so it would. So it's still quite funny. And this year, if I can just quickly mention, last year, thank you so much for the coverage you gave us on Opportunity Frocks,
Yes, yeah.
which was Northern Ireland's first and ever only true proper drag queen pageant. And we raised over £1,100, which we donated to Belfast Gay Pride Committee. So this year, on the 13th of November, we're going to run it again. We have contestants coming from England, Scotland, Wales, the south of Ireland, Northern Ireland. And the first prize is an all expenses paid trip to New York. So it is, and the money that we raised this year is we've chosen 3 charities. We've chosen Belfast Gay Pride again, and we've also chosen the Northern Ireland HIV and AIDS Trust. And there's a small clinic which has left me right now, I meant the name. It's a guy who's gay, he's a former male model, and he runs a small clinic by himself, and it's for people who are trying their best to come off heroin and really hard drugs, are finding it difficult. And he does this by himself voluntarily, and he's a photographer. So he done the photo shoot for this year's Opportunity Frocks. And so we're going to make a donation to him because he's such a beautiful gentleman and he has no help whatsoever. So he tugged at my heartstrings, and you know, Opportunity Frocks, I hope, is going to become one of the leading charity events of the year. You know, that's just welcomes its arms to everyone in the community, and running it on a Saturday night, which is a mainstream night out. So it'll be a good fun night out, and that's Saturday the 13th of November in the Empire Music Hall. Plug, plug, plug.
Okay, Tina, thanks for joining us on The Big Show tonight.